All right, boys and girls, today we're going to draw a cardinal. And it's going to be a winter cardinal, so he's going to be hanging out in the snow and on some branches. And the cardinal is actually our state bird for Virginia. So we're going to draw the cardinal together. It might sound complicated and hard, but it actually is pretty simple. So let's go ahead and start. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw his little eye. That way I can have a starting point, and then I can build from there. So I'm gonna go towards the corner and then go in and down a little bit. And I'm gonna add his little eye. So I start with a small circle, and I like to color just the bottom of it, just like that. All right, now we're gonna add his little beak. So I'm gonna draw a little V right next to the eye. And then a line in between, kind of like an arrow pointing. Then I add a curved line at the top and a curved line at the bottom. Now I'm going to add his crown. So I draw a straight line up from that point, and then I'm going to add a little zigzag, just a little one. And now I'm going to draw the top of it, or the back of his head. So I just like to draw a little bit of a wavy line. It could be straight if you want to, or curved, but I'm just going to add a little bit of a wave. And now I'm going to add his back. So I'm going to add just a straight diagonal line, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a curved line that goes back. It's like half of a heart or a cane. So I curve down and then back up. Now I'm going to start on this side where the bottom of his beak is, and I'm going to add his little chin. So I can add a curved line or a straight line. And then I'm going to add a big old U that's going to go down below his wing, and it's going to finish on his back like that. Now I'm going to add some details and feathers. So I'm going to add a zigzag line in the middle of the wing, just like that. And then I'm going to add some lines in the back. These are going to be his little feathers. So I like to curve them just a little bit. If they're not perfect, it's okay. So now he's starting to look like a cardinal. He has some markings on his face, so let's do that next. So I'm going to add a line right above his little eye, kind of like an eyebrow. Then it wraps around and it connects right below his chin. So now he has his little marking. That's going to be black later, which we'll paint. All right, now for the tail. I'm going to add two lines, one in the back, and then one kind of coming off here. And they're going side by side. And then I connect it with a curved line. And then I can add some more lines for some feathers. Okay. All right, so now the fun part, we could add some branches. So here's how I'm going to draw my branches. I'm going to start below where his little legs will be, and I just draw a line from side to side. And the more wobbly it is, the better. And then I add another line from side to side, and it goes off the page. And now I'm going to add some little branches. So I'm going to go at a diagonal, draw some branches going off, and then I draw some down here. And I can make the branches even smaller if I want to. It's up to you. So go ahead and add your branches. You can do as many as you want. All right, so now since this is a winter tree, we're going to add some little needles, pine needles. So I'm going to draw a straight line and then little lines on each side going at a diagonal. And I'm going to add about 3 leaves to each branch. So let me show you again. So where the end of your branch is, draw a long line and then add diagonal lines going towards the end. And the quicker, the better they look. And you can add as many or as few as you wish. These are evergreen trees. That means they're always green, even in the wintertime. And you can add as many of those as you want. Okay, so the last part is the legs. So he's gonna be perched on top of this branch. So we're gonna add some legs. So the first one is gonna be right in the middle of his little belly. I add a little bent line, or it looks like a sideways V, and then I thicken it up towards the top and the bottom. Then we're gonna add his little back leg, which will just be a straight line. And again, I thicken it towards the top and the bottom. And then I'm gonna add his little legs. And those are just 2 little curved lines that wrap around the branch. Awesome. So now we have drawn a cardinal. And now it's time to color it in. All right, boys and girls, so my cardinal is all outlined and I'm ready for some color. Now you guys get to color it any way you like. I'm choosing to use paints today. So you guys know I always use my watercolors. And I'm gonna go ahead and add color. So if you wanna watercolor with me, you can, or you can use markers, crayons, whatever you want. So now I'm gonna paint my bird and then I'll do something at the very end. But if you wanna add color any way you like, you can. All right, so here I go. Boys and girls, so I went ahead and finished my painting. Now I'm gonna add some snow. So you can do this lots of different ways. You can use anything that you have that is white, so white marker, white crayon, white oil pastel, or even white paint. So if you also just wanna leave some spaces white for the snow, you could do that too. But I'm gonna go ahead and add some snow. So I watered down some paint and now I'm just tapping it on my brush to let it splatter on my paper. So it looks like my cardinal is trapped in a snowstorm. So I'm sure he feels happy that it's snowing outside, and I can't wait for it to snow for us. So I'm just adding lots of little snowflakes. All right. Cool, looks great. All right, I'm all finished. I hope you guys had fun. See you later.